Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Strong Collectors Podcast. I'm Dakota, here with my co-host Jordan, and today we're going to be talking about some of our hot takes on Marvel Legends. So we tried to go with some things that are a little bit controversial. Maybe not everybody's going to agree with us on these. Maybe we won't even agree with each other on some of these. But we tried to keep it from like, oh, the Engine of Vengeance was overpriced. It's like, I think everybody kind of agrees with that. So today we're going to, maybe, I don't know, hopefully you guys don't get too upset and, run away, but I think it'll be kind of fun. Let us know in the comments what are some of your hot takes if we don't mention them. Maybe you just absolutely hate Spider-Man and you wish they would stop making action figures of Spider-Man. That would be a hot take. We definitely have enough of them right now, but they're never going to stop making Spider-Man.
And I don't think I want them to.
Yeah. With as many Spider-Mans as I have, I would probably still buy another.
Yeah.
But all right, our first hot take, without any further ado, this is one that Jordan and I both agree on.
Mm-hmm.
And the hot take is, we don't really mind the plastic-free packaging. Now,
No.
I will say it is hard because it does help people steal toys and then they return the empty box or they just leave the box there and you can't tell if it's been tampered with. That does suck. But for the most part, if your figure's in the box, it's not so bad. Maybe you're going to have a paint imperfection or something like that, but you're going to have that on even plastic, windowed packaging figures. And I think, especially we've talked about this before with capes and things like that, I always have to cut the crap out of the plastic tray because I feel like I'm going to scrape the paint off of the cape.
Paint or something, yeah.
So, what are your thoughts on the plastic-free packaging, Jordan?
I would say if I was still buying in store, I'd probably be more upset because I really don't. I mean, any plastic-free Legend I've gotten, I think I've gotten through online, either Pulse or Target.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know that's where you got the Amazing Fantasy and Noir.
Yep.
Right through there. And then I got Venom Null. What was the other one?
Renewing Your Vows. Yep.
But I haven't gotten a ton. But I mean, when I've gotten them, I don't mind because I know it's getting shipped right from the supplier.
Right.
So, in that sense, you'd be taking that gamble of having paint defects, even if you were ordering a windowed figure, because you wouldn't get a chance to see it before. So I really think it only affects the in-store experience, which that could lead into another hot take that I have, but do you have other
Well, I was going to
thoughts
say,
on that one?
one of the Amazing Fantasy Spider-Mans that I did get that was plastic-free, his knee, wasn't attached on the top joint. But even that, I don't think you could have seen that even if you had a window. It wasn't until I tried to, pose him. Because, whenever I get those, or really any figure, I try to, move them around, make sure all the joints are good. Nothing's going to, snap off on me. And this one, it just was, the joint was, tore. But then it was easy enough to just, pack it back up, take it to the store, get the refund.
But you could have gotten that with a windowed one, too.
Right, exactly. And that's I don't know, people open them up and then they're like, oh, look at this crap in here. It's just a cardboard with a bag. It's what did you want them to do? Have streamers and a light display when you open up your box? I don't mind that at all. I would rather it be like that because then I feel I'm going to screw up the paint less or yank it out of the plastic tray. I can take figures out of a plastic tray. It's not that hard, but I also just don't mind sliding them out of a bag, and it seems much more of a gentle way to package. So,
yeah, it's look at this ugly cardboard.
Right.
It's cardboard.
You're probably gonna.
And that's the other thing is with the windowed packaging, people would never. I've never saw people posting saying, "Look at all this junk." It's yeah, it's just part of the packaging, So
right.
Do you really care? Because then it can let you do cool things like we've seen. You had the VHS retro boxes you thought were really cool.
Mm-hmm. Even the Venom and Null, or not Venom and Null, but the Venom 3-pack from Amazon.
Yeah.
The Spider-Man 5-pack, those original art boxed things. Even that Mojo World Tour, even though that's a rip-off. A rip-off.
That Why'd you say it that way?
I don't know. But it at least looks really cool with the original art. I like it like that.
Yeah.
I would much rather see original art than the figure. Like, the Four Horsemen stuff back here. Like I really like this poster type Headless Horseman, but then
I
I
th-
get the figure out and then I have the figure.
I think that'd be a great soundbite. Is that's a ripoff.
This is a
We just
ripoff.
we just you just play that every time the new
Clip it,
figure comes out.
add
It's
it to our
overpriced.
soundboard.
That's good. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you get more use out of that packaging than you would any other packaging that you just throw away, right? I don't know. I
Yeah,
always immediately throw my boxes
that's true.
unless there's something cool about them.
Right. And like I can understand if you're like an inbox collector because it's not going to display quite as nice. But I mean, we still have the retro card stuff. And like that, like I would be pretty disappointed to see that go away because I do think that looks
Yeah.
really cool. So I think it's nice to have the mix. Like you have your retro package stuff that's going to look great mint on card, and then you've got your
Yeah.
other like normal figures now that are, you can just open and toss the box because you don't really need to display that.
Well, yeah, I guess that's the other thing to consider, though, is that you and I don't do a ton of inbox stuff. I mean, you have inbox like you said, retro cards and the original Legends series, but you don't have like the Renew Your Vows 2-pack box on display.
Right, exactly. So that would be like kind of the caveat, I guess, to this. Like I
That
could understand,
would be a bummer.
yeah, you would be pretty disappointed as an inbox collector for this stuff.
But then again, who wants to inbox collect like Everett Ross from the Wakanda Forever wave? You know, like
Good point.
maybe. I feel if I offended any Everett Ross fans out there, I'm sorry, but um, yeah, I would agree with you. It does not really bother me
Yeah. All
unless
right.
I was buying in store.
Right. Now that was going to segue into your
Yes,
next hot take.
which I know we've talked about this, but unless it is, I would say maybe a Pulse exclusive, or we can say like a Walmart exclusive,
Yeah.
then you should probably, I would say you should not buy Legends at retail, like ever.
Yeah.
And I think what kind of proved this for me, I mean, because I remember when we were getting back into it, we started seeing things go on clearance, and it's like, is this normal or is this like kind of an anomaly?
Right.
But the weird thing is, even stuff this year that I thought for sure would be hot items were like the Venom Null 2-pack, which a couple months, not even months, I don't know.
It was like maybe
When
a
did,
month
you
or
know,
two at most. Yeah.
then they started going like, weren't they like $50 at one point? Like marked
Maybe
down
like
to
a
like,
Black Friday deal or something like that.
yeah,
I don't think that was like a normal sale, at least not yet.
yeah. But at least down to like,
It was like
I don't know, significantly less.
62
Oh, yeah, because
ish.
that one was like 80. Yeah, so more like a 60 something.
But I
And
mean,
if I'd known that, and they
right.
were readily available, it wasn't like, oh, a hot sale. Like,
Yeah. It was up and
so
it's
that,
still up, but like that sale has gone up, but I think they're still maybe on sale.
yeah.
But even Renew Your Vows too.
Or, yeah, that went on sale. Amazing Fantasy went on sale.
Yep.
Real, like, pretty deep sale. But what's interesting is, like, the retro cards went on slight sales, but not really that much.
Yeah.
So then that, I guess, leads you to wonder, would the Venom Null 2-pack or Renew Your Vows 2-pack have more value had it been a windowed packaging?
True. Yeah. I'd never thought of that, but I've definitely.
Because I could see you could come up with some cool packaging
Oh
for
yeah,
that.
for sure. And like even if they had just like, I don't know, maybe they don't want to take the time to pay an artist to give you original art on everything, because like I said, that Venom 3-pack from Amazon is cool because you get like a cool display, like
Yeah.
that's fun. I don't really want to display the digital render of the action figures in this box. At least that's me. Maybe other people do, but like if that had been like an actual like Venom and Null like going at it on the front cover with like real art, that would be more fun, and I would probably want to keep those boxes. So yeah, and I totally agree with the like, don't buy any
Don't.
Legend that's going to be mass released ever unless it's on some sort of sale. Like Target is always going to have a sale, GameStop always going to have a sale, Amazon. I can't think of any figures that we own that never went
Yeah.
on sale. And like you said, look, if it's like a Walmart exclusive, like the cell shaded
Yeah.
Spider-Man, probably you want to get that as soon as the pre-order drops, because Walmart
Mm-hmm.
exclusives are very particular, and Walgreens exclusives not so much, even though like they kind of were for a little bit, but now it's like crazy discounts even on those.
Yeah, weren't they? All those were
All
like
those were six
$7 a
bucks.
pop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can definitely get your Legends much cheaper. But like, I don't know, like even though we say that, if it's like your dream character is coming out,
Yeah.
you know, what you're gonna spend an extra, what, $5 just to like secure your order, and then like if there is a sale on it, you can always cancel the first order and get the new
Yeah.
one.
Or
Or you just have it a little bit early and it's
yeah.
fine. Like you don't lose out
Or
on
or
that
if
much
it's
money.
something cool like a retro card that you're really stoked for,
Yeah.
like I would get ordering some of those sooner.
Hmm.
Because even like that retro War Machine has already gone on sale.
Yeah. I mean, all the retro X-Men I was able to order, I think, for 10% off. Like I had a deal from Target
Mm-hmm.
Circle or something with the red card even on top of that. So it was like, I think maybe even a buy one, get one free, or buy two, get
Yeah.
one free. So it's like sales like that, like as soon as it dropped, like it was probably the next week, I was able to like cancel my original order and then order them all on sale. So
Yeah.
yeah, I totally agree. Do not ever buy from retail if it's a mass release Marvel Legend.
If you need proof, Dakota once ordered the entire Age of Apocalypse wave.
No kidding. That second Age of Apocalypse wave with the AOA Colossus as the Build-A-Figure. Bought it straight away as soon as it came out, and I probably could have got that for 50% off if I had just waited a couple months, because those are so cheap. But, I was excited. I was super excited to have a collection within a collection, and I displayed them for a little bit, and then they've been in a box since. But it was fun while I had them out.
Yeah.
All right. I think I'll get into, well, we'll do one more that we agree on. We maybe got two-ish more that we agree on. So next one I'm going to say is the Facebook groups especially have no idea what the term scalping means. Like, I think they think
Yeah.
anybody that posts something for a price that they don't want to pay is scalping. And it's not. Like,
Yes.
scalping would be if you went and you cleared out the entire toy section of all the retro cards, and then you like tried to sell them right away for a ton more. But even that, like, that's really,
Yeah.
like, I guess that's scalping, but it's like, do you
Well,
really care because it's only one person doing it at one store getting three figures?
yeah.
I don't I don't really
I would
see that
say
as a
my
deal.
problem with that is the whole like don't feed the scalpers.
Mm-hmm.
Like the people who do pay for those
Mm-hmm.
prices are part of the problem.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I finally caved, and like if you want to admit like, you know what, screw it, I don't care. This Spider-Man costs $60, but I really want it. I'm gonna buy it.
Yeah.
But don't buy it and then go online and complain about the person who sold it to you because
Yes.
you didn't like the. It's like, then don't buy it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that is what really frustrates me, and I know you've mentioned that kind of stuff before too, where
Yeah.
it's like screw the scalpers, but I really wanted it, so
Yeah.
it's
So
like
I bought it for that price. Yeah. And then I think too, just like I don't know, maybe I'll even ask you too. Like, do you think it's scalping when, like, say I found the retro cell shaded Spider-Man like a month before it was supposed to release? I bought it from Walmart. It was the only one on the shelf, and I take it straight to eBay and I sell it for like triple. Is that scalping? Because I kind of like, you're buying something early, and if
mm-hmm.
you're going to sell it to the person that wants to be the first to have it, they're willing to pay that premium, so it's at the market price.
Yeah. Well, I think
Gray
there is
area,
within the
maybe?
collector, within the community, there's the people who are like, dude, just take it to eBay. Who, you
Mm-hmm.
know, like don't come to maybe the group.
Yes.
Like I don't ever do that.
Mm-hmm.
Like list it as like ASBAT for sale, $90. It's
Mm-hmm.
like, dude, you just kind of looked like a jerk because you're like there might be people who aren't part of those communities, and the only way they're going to get it is maybe on eBay.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like my brother is a nerd, and if he was collecting, I don't think he would be like super involved in the the groups, but he
Mm-hmm.
might be like, oh, dang, there's a new Spider-Man that came out. I want that. Oh,
Yeah.
it's on eBay. Sweet.
Right.
So, I don't know. Like, I don't think the only time I would think that's like scalping is if you deliberately know someone's like, hey, I'm new to the group. I just,
True.
and then you like take them for a ride and rip them
Mm-hmm.
off big time.
Yeah.
I think I would say that's not okay. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know if that is a hot take. I think most people
Yeah.
would agree with
Yeah.
that.
No, I agree.
But,
Yeah. I mean, and it kind of
yeah,
goes back to that, like when we were talking to Todd McFarlane, it's like sell what's hot right now, and then buy it later when it
it,
goes down in price. Like if you got that thing that was coming out, like you found it a month early, like you and I have found those like complete Build-A-Figure waves at Target back when those were actually worth something.
yeah,
It's like you find it, you sell it right away, you make your money back. Maybe you sell off the Build-A-Figure and it pays for the whole wave.
mm-hmm,
But then it's like
yeah,
later on down the road, it's going to go down in price because it's more readily available. But you're always going to have those people that want to be the first to have it in hand.
right. So, like, if you walked out with the whole wave immediately with the intention to sell the build a figure and maybe most of the figures, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I
Yeah,
Again, you're
and
you're providing it for someone who maybe couldn't find it, and someone's
yeah,
like, "Oh, I can't find Ultron. That's the only one I really want."
mm-hmm.
Cool. I
Yeah,
don't know. I don't really think anyone's being hurt
yeah,
by sales. I think the person you should be mad at is Hasbro for not just
yes,
re-releasing what you want then, or releasing more of it, or
mm-hmm.
whatever that might be.
Yeah,
Maybe that's a
and
hot take. I
I was
don't
gonna say
know.
I think this one would probably be our hottest take so far, just because it is kind of like that gray area. Is like, is this okay to do? It's like you and I both try to like fund all of our toy collecting
Yeah.
with toy collecting. So like in order
Right.
to do that, like we have to find those hot items and sell them at the market price. But we're also
Yeah.
not trying to like go to every Target in town, take all the inventory, and then up the price. And
Yeah.
even then, it's
Well,
like that doesn't
yeah.
really do anything.
I think there's the fact that you and I buy and sell a decent amount,
Mm-hmm.
and like I think when you get that perspective of like that almost business like part of it,
Mm-hmm.
I mean that's kind of plays into what we've talked about with the buy sell trade stuff. I don't know like if the more comfortable you get with that, the less you see that as scalping when you're because like there's even that whole argument of, you know, everything should always be sold at retail, but
Right.
it's like
Yeah.
there's many people that would recognize when that Moon Knight was hot that he was easily worth $60 to $80.
Mm-hmm.
But some people still called that scalping to be
Right.
like,
Even though it was like clearly out of circulation, and like even saying like I've seen people say that about like those Tobey Maguire Spider-Mans. They're like, oh, this was
mm-hmm,
only $15 when it came out. You should be selling it for 50. It's like, okay, then why is everyone else making $100 selling this sealed? I'm not going to sell
yeah,
it to you for 15. Like, great. I mean, yeah, you could be a hero in the groups if you want to do that. And like, I think we've both given people deals. We've both gotten deals where somebody
mm-hmm,
like sells us something like under market value, and like that's usually what the groups are. But
mm-hmm,
if you're going to go on eBay, and like that's usually where you would go to get like market price.
yeah,
So,
yeah. And that could segue into me saying I hate the phrase reasonable price.
oh yes,
I hate to see I'm asking for this for a reasonable price
yep,
because, I mean, for so many reasons, we could do a whole episode on that, but
mm-hmm.
it's just the notion of it's so vague. Like, what usually it reminds me of the scalper term where it's like reasonable price, you mean, well, the exact price I want it for.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like what you value it at does not determine its actual value.
Right,
And I remember that. I got into that with a guy about the Moon Knight.
mm-hmm.
He's like, I'll give you 25. It's like, come
Yeah,
on, dude.
right,
He's like, that's market value. I wouldn't pay more than 30. It's like,
mm-hmm.
well,
Then you're not going to
I don't
get
know what
one.
to tell you. Yeah. So I think when that is like, I want it, because then it just makes people be like, well, you have to message someone and be like, what do you want it for? And then it's
Mm-hmm.
like, market value. And you're like, okay, never mind.
Yeah,
So I don't know. I never liked that term.
yeah.
Confusing.
And I think a lot of people like like in the groups, if you want it, like if you were like, I want to find this Moon Knight, I'm looking for it, like
Mm-hmm.
rather than saying like I want it as a reasonable price, like if most of them are selling for whatever it is, 60 or 80, and you say like looking for Moon Knight for 50, you're still asking for a deal, but you're at least putting out there that like this is the price I'm looking for, and you're going to be much more likely to actually find somebody. Like still maybe nobody wants to sell it for that cheap because they know they can get more money out of it. But you're
Yeah.
at least not wasting everyone's time with like they're going to be like, "Oh, I've got Moon Knight. Like, you want to buy it?" They're like, "Yeah, I want it for half off." And you're like, oh, "This was a waste of my time to even reach out to you." Say what you want to spend on it, and you're going to more likely find it. Like then maybe somebody's like, "Oh, that's pretty close to like what I could get for it," and like I want to give
Yeah.
this guy a deal. Everybody's happy. So
Yeah.
be realistic about your
Yeah.
prices too. Your reasonable
Well, and I
price.
think for me, I think that too, though, also when it's like looking for retro cell shaded Spider Man for a reasonable price. It's like, are you saying you want someone to find you one and
Mm-hmm.
buy it for you and send it to you at retail plus shipping? Like, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
like,
It's possible, but I don't know.
it seems weird to me, like that I mean, you could have that if you had like a friend
Mm-hmm.
group of like, hey, we look for stuff for each other.
Right.
But I think just saying like every single collector out of the goodness of their heart should just be willing to find an exclusive item and sell it at market price to help
Mm-hmm.
someone out. Like,
Right.
I don't know. And just because it goes back to that question we've talked about of like, you use your collecting to help you fund other collecting, even.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Right.
that way you don't really have to dip into like your own funds when you want something new that's coming out.
Yeah.
Which I think would be helpful for a lot of people who are into collecting and just kind of having that little extra toy money. I don't know.
Yeah. All right. Do you want to go with? Well, we'll do another one that like we both. Well, you have one that you have a hot take on, where you should also never buy your toys from.
Wait, what?
You're
Oh, just Pulse?
yes. Well, I'll cut that out. But like you have a hot take on where
Oh,
you should never buy things from. Action.
okay. I think you should never buy toys from Pulse.
Mm-hmm.
Unless it's a Pulse exclusive, of
Very true.
course,
Very true.
because where else are you going to get it? Like
Yeah.
that Venom. You know, you're never. that
Not
was,
gonna find that one at Target.
Yeah. So I get that. But, man, what did I buy? Oh, I
Was it the
was.
Dark Troopers?
Yeah, I was kind of collecting Star Wars for a while. And then I wanted those Dark Troopers, but I also was like, I want to see it. And then if it's not great, I'll
Mm-hmm.
have something people are after. But then those kind of went on clearance right away, and I just
And
forgot
they
to
were
cancel
out.
my Pulse order.
Well, you didn't. I
Yeah,
mean, like you
they were
forgot to
out
cancel
everywhere
it
else.
because it was what was it like 6 months earlier, even more.
Yeah, yeah, they came out really early, but they came out like everywhere except
Mm-hmm.
Pulse, I think. And I was like,
Yeah.
why are they showing up? And then
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, it just slipped my mind. But had to return them, and they make you pay to to ship them back.
Right.
It's like they can't even pay for the shipping label, like. And it's so difficult too when you have a defect to. I don't know if you've ever done that. Like I had those, the retro Scarlet Witch that just had super super like gummy beyond like, oh, this is a gummy figure. Like her legs were just like bent, and I was trying to message them
Mm-hmm.
to be like, hey, there's a problem, and it's this whole like, what's the serial number? Take
Yeah.
complete documentation. Can you take at least 5 photos? You know, like all this stuff. It's like,
I tried to do
come
that
on,
with
man.
the Terex because he's got that like. I think everybody ended up having it, but it's got like that like almost hole in the shoulder pad, and then mine was like missing a bunch of like paint and like the like gloves and the boots, and it was just kind of like not like perfect. So I was like, oh, let me like see if they can do something to help out here, like maybe send me another one, or yeah, I don't know. I wasn't expecting much, but it was just like,
Yeah.
oh, send us pictures of what's wrong with it, send us the barcode, send us the like packet, like the shipper box, like
Yeah.
serial number, and like every
It's like I
number
don't
you
have
could
that
ever
anymore.
imagine. Like send me a picture of the bottom of his boot number, and it's
Yeah.
like I got to get a flashlight and a microscope to see all these things, and it's like I hope I saved the box that you shipped this in. And then at that point it was like I
Yeah.
had already thrown away the box that I had received it in, because I was like, oh, I'll like set this here, open it up on the weekend, and like then the box is gone with the trash. And I was like, okay, well, yes, Hasbro can't do anything to help me here. So, but if you buy it from Target,
Yeah.
which I've done several times, it's like, oh, this thing is like the Spider-Man, his knee is busted, or like the paint is terrible, it's missing something. I just take it right down the road to Target and say, this is what's wrong, and they just boom, return it,
Yeah.
and it's all good. Piece of cake.
Much simpler.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I
So
totally agree.
because I did join the Pulse Premium, but it's also like a double-edged sword because it's like it would be nice to have free shipping for all this stuff, but then it's such a hassle if it doesn't work.
Yeah.
But then, like you said, you could just go to Target and get the red card.
And that's another
I
thing
don't
is
know.
like I used to buy from Pulse when they had free shipping. Like it was like I think orders over $50 or something, but now it's like there's just no free shipping no matter how much you buy. It's like, well, this is pointless. Like, I'll just pay the same price from somebody else and not have like there's really no reason to buy a regular Marvel Legend from Hasbro ever. Like I don't ever do that. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Buy it from like Target or GameStop because they're almost all those places are going to have like spend $35, get free shipping.
Yeah.
So you're going to save
Yeah.
money
It's
there.
very rare Pulse does like a sweet sale like that. I mean, it'll
No.
like with that. Was it Thanksgiving or Black
Yeah,
Friday?
probably Black Friday.
That was cool, but like usually they
Not
don't
even the
have
best. Like,
great prices. Yeah.
right, you could still get better prices from GameStop.
Yeah.
And like I know some people have had trouble with GameStop or Amazon like canceling orders, but I don't know. I don't like ordering from Pulse very much anymore. Like I used to. Like I said, used to be good, but no, not worth it now for sure.
I agree.
Yeah, I think that was it on them. But sticking with kind of the Hasbro and their team, another hot take is it's not Dan, Ryan, or Dwight's fault that you don't like the direction that Hasbro is going. Those guys are like, yes, they're the face of Marvel Legend and they host the live streams, but like Ryan is not the one that tells Hasbro to like, hey, let's bump these figures up and like jack
I
the
need to
price
make more
up and
money.
right. Like he
Yeah.
just his job is to sell what the higher ups decide. Like none of those guys have any say in like, oh, let's make sure we don't add in this extra head or like let's make sure we give them another Iron Man they don't need. That's mostly the higher ups. Like, yeah, Dwight is in charge of like, how the figures come out and like the design and everything. But he also he's restricted to a budget and he's got to kind of like follow
Yeah.
that stuff that like I'm sure he would love to have more money to give everybody original sculpts all the time.
Well, it's not like they own Hasbro.
Right.
I think that's what people equate it with almost is like, well, it's your company. It's like, well, they're part of the company, but they don't have control
Right.
over
They're
every
employees.
detail.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that's because I even saw didn't Dan post something recently like in response to that Spider-Man figure everyone was mad about. He's
Yeah.
like, I see all the comments and like I do feel for you guys.
Right.
Almost like I get it. Like it sucks that this single packed figure is $35.
Right. Like I can't imagine
That
that
a lot of
because both him and like Dan and Ryan both are like mint on card kind of guys. I can't imagine they were like, oh guys, let's go plastic free packaging. Like that'll look so great on my shelf. Maybe they helped like I said, do some more of the original art. They're like, okay, if we're gonna do this, like let's try to do it better. So like those I would say like that's probably them. I don't think they're like, oh, let's just put these digital renders, which sometimes aren't even accurate, on the box.
yeah.
Or, like I said, like they are always restricted to the budget and then they just have to kind of sell what the company as a whole decides this is what we're going to market.
Yeah.
So lay off Dan, Ryan, and Dwight. That's what I'm trying to
Leave him
say.
alone.
You got another hot take or you want me to go again?
I think I could go and say that can I say this? Well, it is the anniversary, but I'm really kind of sick and tired of the X-Men. I
Oh,
mean, enough. Too much. I think what really kind of gets me is the like Obscuro X-Men. And not even Obscuro, but like House of X and you know X of X, and people are now like,
XXX.
yeah, it's like, well, they're like, we need. It sounds like we're getting Chasm, Ben Riley's form from the past like 5 months of comics. Like, I get that that's like maybe what's hot and you're trying to jump on it, but those one-offs I get. But when it's like we're doing the entire every character from the House of X storyline, like it just gets to be a little much.
Yeah, I guess
Like,
I don't know that I kind of like that they would do everyone from the line to an extent, but I think it's kind of annoying when it's like the Wolverines, where it's like, oh, you've got this Wolverine and you got this one and this one and this, and I know Wolverine sells, but it's like, do we
yeah,
need all these random offshoots of like you said, like, do we need this version of them and then this teamed version, and then you're just gonna like kind of like start all those
you're
teams and
saying
not
like
actually have them.
multiple waves having that, you
Or
mean, or
just
just in
like how
one
many
wave?
Cyclops do they need to make, really? Like, we've
Yeah,
got enough, and like I think people pretty much just want the Jim Lee version. Like, I
yeah.
understand, and you're gonna have to like put that out several times throughout the life of Marvel Legends, but like, do we need as many of the other offshoots? Like, and that's where I think I even disagree with you on this hot take. I like some of
All
those
right.
obscuro characters where it's like I know you don't care for the new X-Men wave with like Kid Omega and
Chasm,
Chasm, but or no, Chasm is the Spider-Man guy. You're thinking Chamber.
Chamber. That's right,
I
Chamber.
agree. I hate Chamber. I don't like him at all. But I think it's cool that like other people get to have him. Like, he's at least new. I don't mind that at all.
Okay, maybe I'll say this. Maybe what bothers me, it's not having those figures. Like, I don't mind the new um, yellow and blue X-Men
Mm-hmm.
retro wave. Like, we've said that. I think that's actually cool that they're putting all those out.
Mm-hmm.
What I would hate would be if that was a Build-A-Figure wave and it had a sweet Build-A-Figure, but it
Mm.
had this really specific storyline. Then I'm like, unless I'm into that, I'm going to have to either pay for the Build-A-Figure, wait a long time for it, or just kind of bite the bullet and try to get the wave and end up with a bunch of stuff I don't want.
Okay. Yeah. And I
So,
mean, that's really the point of the Build-A-Figure wave, though, man. Like, since the beginning, I think that was their way of making you buy figures you don't want. They're like, you're gonna want
yeah.
to build this bigger, cooler figure, and you're probably gonna want a couple of these characters, but now you have to buy all of them.
But I don't mind if it's like there's a couple, like, either good figures mixed in with crap figures or crap ones mixed in with good ones. Like, I don't know what the ratio needs to be. Like, I think it'd be unfair, not unfair, but Hasbro wouldn't want to do like a half and half.
Mm-hmm.
But I think at least having like two or maybe three figures, and I'm like, okay, I'd like those from that wave.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that also stems out of like your Howard the Duck frustration that it's like, because didn't he come with a Build-A-Figure piece?
Yeah.
So like, I don't know. I think for me, like those X-Men waves are kind of all Howard the Duck,
Oh, wow.
like a whole Howard the Duck wave.
All right.
It's
That
like
is.
I don't want white costume Magneto or you know skin tight spandex suit Professor X that's walking around and you know what was the other one from that wave?
You had the
Had
Ms. Marvel or Marvel
Sentinel.
Girl. Yeah, the Omega
Yeah, I didn't like
Sentinel.
the
You had the Cyclops. Pretty sure there was a Wolverine. Moira McTaggart.
gosh. Thank goodness I hate that Tri Sentinel. But like if that had been a classic Sentinel, I'd have been like
Oh, you'd been screwed.
so mad. I'd have been so mad because I would like one of those.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I will say that is probably a hot take. I think a lot of folks they're always excited when they see an Avengers wave or an X-Men wave, and that's a hot take, Jordan. Good job. Good hot take. I'll
Just
give
give
you.
me my monsters. I need Frankencastle. I
Yeah.
want the amphibian. Give me the weird stuff.
All right. You had a hot take, like a hot take. I'll give you mine. I
Yeah.
don't give a fuck about toe joints. I think they are. I can see, like, okay, sometimes, sure, Spider Man seems like he should need toe joints. I've got my Renew Your Vows Spider Man. I haven't gotten him in a
Yeah.
pose with toes that I like. I don't like it. It's
Yeah.
it seems like it should make sense, but like, And that's the thing too, is it's like everybody's like acting like, whoa, this is some new innovation. It's like, no, they're just going back to what Toy Biz did. Toy Biz did
Yeah.
like almost every single one of their figures, like even giant figures like Hulkbuster had toe
Yeah.
joints. McFarlane has always had toe joints. And now it's like a big deal if Marvel Legends has it. I don't need it. Because then it's just going to be another
Yeah.
reason for them to reissue all the same stuff and give you toe joints, where it's like, I don't care that my Daredevil has toe joints. I don't care that like now I got to get another symbiote Spider-Man just because now we've got a new body with toe joints. I don't care.
Okay.
Exactly. Just yeah, put that on the cover of new, not even new technology that I don't care about magazine. Because
Yeah. I guess side like spinning out of that, I think Bendy Wire is awful.
yes, I agree. I have
I say don't
this
don't
lizard
try to
tail.
put that.
Like what is like? Good job. I can get it to bend 90 degrees. That's what bendy wire is gonna get me. So what? Like that's the best I can bend it.
Yeah,
All it will
that's
do.
pretty bad. Like I think the Build-A-Figure clicking tail is better.
Yeah, I mean honestly, I wouldn't mind if they just gave us like I like the feel of this tail. Like I like that it's kind of softer. But just give me like a sculpted tail like this would be fine. Like I'm never gonna
And
want to
then
pose it straight. So it's like I guess you give me the option to like bend it this way or bend it that way. But like I mean I guess I actually do keep it straight sometimes just to flip it around like a pen, but I don't need my action figures to be like a
that's not the
fidget toy.
function of the
Exactly.
tail. Yeah.
So and that's the thing is like everybody wants a bendy wire Doc Ock. You and I both have agreed that does not interest us at all. Like I don't love those sculpted options, but like maybe they just need
I
to
think they're
add in
better
like
than Bendy Wire, man.
I think instead of adding in like 4, if they would give us like 8 arms so that you have different options of like different lengths and like
Yeah.
sculpted poses, like no, that's cool. I'll take that. I'm happy with that. I don't need Doc. I just can't imagine Hasbro doing a good enough job where it's like, oh cool, I can actually like put this where I want it. It's gonna be like, oh, bend
Yeah.
his arms in. It's like, and they just like go back out like super giant on the shelf. And no, bendy wire is in at least figures. It is not what it's cracked up to be. In like the Asbat
Yeah.
Mafex, bendy wire cape is amazing. I love it.
Yeah.
But I don't think that Hasbro is going to do a good enough job on bendy wire as Mafex.
Yeah.
So, and I guess we'll stick with that same like people want this technology and why is going to be soft goods. I really don't like soft goods at all. Well, maybe not at all. Like I said, Mafex does it well. Hasbro is not going to do it well. Take the lab coat beast. I think that looks stupid. Jordan, you have that one. What do you think of it?
Looks stupid. Yeah, it's pretty bad. The Beast's lab coat is basically worthless.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it's like Legends should just stay away from cloth goods.
Yeah.
Like I think when, like you said, Mafex does it. Even like Legions, I think are cool.
Legions are like right on that
just-
border where it's like,
They
it's
could
okay.
be better. They could
Yeah.
be better.
Because like the Tibius's cape, I think is cool. Headless Horseman's cape, not as good as a Mafex cape, but it still works.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like you're not even pay that much more for a Mythic Legion, but like Hasbro is like kind of your like cheaper company. They're like you can get a bunch of these figures, and I don't think a cheap company is going to do a good job with cheap soft goods.
No. I agree.
So
So
soft goods are out,
soft goods,
in my opinion.
no bueno.
I'll buy a custom cape off somebody on Etsy or something like that if I want it. I don't want Hasbro trying to pull that crap. Another one I think is a kind of a hot take is I have zero interest in Mephisto in all aspects. I don't want to read a comic book with him in it. I don't want an action figure of
You
him.
could have made several good word plays there.
What do you mean?
Like, I don't give a damn about Mephisto. That would have been a good tie-in.
Because of the devil. Yeah. But see,
Or who the hell cares about Mephisto?
oh, Yeah,
That
there we
could be
go.
an episode. That could be an episode
I like it.
because I think I would agree with you. Where like I don't know where the Mephisto fandom came from because I don't even remember. I mean, maybe you encountered him in Ultimate Alliance, and I kind of just was.
Maybe, yeah.
I think you have to go to get someone's soul from, you know, I don't know if they even called it hell. It was like the
The
dark
underworld or
dimension
something.
or,
Yeah.
yeah, Wonderworld, whatever. But yeah, I think Mephisto was there. So I knew of him,
Mm-hmm. And he's
but
like, isn't he in with like when Wanda has the twins? He's in that storyline.
the House of M, I don't think so.
Not House of M, like the old like West Coast Avengers.
Oh, the when she actually conceives of the yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was he may have been part of that. So I get that,
But no, I
but
agree. Like, why was everybody losing their minds about Mephisto during like WandaVision and like, oh, it's gonna be Mephisto's up behind it all, and it's like not him, and everybody's like, oh man. Then like whatever the next
that's
show was, they're
so
like,
dumb.
it's gonna be Mephisto behind it all. It's like, do you guys have any other theories for anything happening in the MCU anymore, or is it just all Mephisto? So
Mephisto is everywhere.
and like
Yeah.
people want like an updated version of like that Diamond Select Mephisto, and like it's fine. It's a good character. Like looks cool. He's got a cool throne, but like people are like, "Oh, I need a Marvel Legends Mephisto." No, you don't.
Well, and I guess I would say for him, his design is really not unique. I mean,
No.
it's pretty basic, just devil
Some shaggy hair
design,
and
right?
sharp teeth.
I mean, there's nothing like Mephisto had some iconic. I don't know. I don't think you could point him out of a lineup of different devil illustrations and be like, "That's Mephisto."
That's the best one.
Like, well, like a Thanos. It's like he had the movies. He's pretty iconic. You've got Magneto has a specific look, and he's been a huge part of the X-Men comics since the beginning. Green Goblin, but Mephisto, it's interesting though to see such a big following
Yeah.
behind this seemingly obscure guy. But
Leave a
I don't
comment
know.
down below. Like, what stories are we not reading where we're like, "Oh, this is why people love Mephisto"?
Well,
'Cause
I guess there's one more day with Spider-Man. He was part
is
of
that
that
good?
to like make a deal with. I mean, everyone kind of hated that storyline though, so I don't really like. Basically, it's kind of the No Way Home thing where he makes a deal with Mephisto to erase like the past X amount of years of his life or something. And it was kind of like their flashpoint to give Spider-Man a new continuity. So they
okay.
but people were mad because it undid his marriage to Mary Jane. And he was like supposed to have a kid with her, and it brought Aunt May back, and I don't know, kind of one of those cheap resets. So I don't know outside of that and the Wanda thing what he is known for. I guess maybe Ghost Rider, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like I said, leave us a comment. What are we missing? Why is Mephisto such a big deal? Because we just don't get it.
Yeah.
All right. Next one. Unless you got to jump in, I got another one.
No, you go ahead.
All right.
I'm still thinking.
I'm going just like broad category here. All MCU figures are not worth anything. Like, you can buy them, give it a couple months, you'll buy them for $6. Not a single MCU figure is worth. And I mean, honestly, like, I hate all MCU figures, minus like 4. But
You
like,
hate all MCU figures?
I mean, I'll get like, I can probably. It's probably less than 10. Like Hydra Stomper,
Yeah.
Captain, or what's her face, whatever Peggy Carter is in that.
Carter.
Captain Carter. I like Surtur just because he's giant. Like I said, I want Khonshu. Kind of want Moon Knight just because I want Khonshu, and I kind of want Mr. Knight just because I want those other two.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess if this Venom counts, but I'm gonna make him a custom. Like, he's gonna turn into Toxin, so he's kind of not even Venom.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do I? I don't even know if there are any others. Like, that might be all
Yeah,
of my MCU figures.
We did do kind of a purge of our MCU stuff, so
They're just not. Like, we've talked about this on the podcast too. Like, they just don't look nearly as good as the comic figures. Like, they're always like less colorful on the
Muted
shelf.
tones
And
and
I
yeah.
guess I hate like the realisticness of it. Like I'm like I don't want my comic book characters, like my superheroes, to look like I could like see them in real life, kind of like.
Yeah.
And it's usually like you're gonna like when I think of like MCU figures, it's like that MCU Mysterio, like Black Widow, like those characters. It's just like yeah, they have like decent actor likeness, and if I really wanted like a whoever it is, like a I want my action figure to look just like Chris Hemsworth. It's like okay, well, I guess you can do that, but I'd rather have a classic looking Thor.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm unless it's a really specific one like Khonshu or Moon Knight,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not. I don't really get excited or even buy MCU ones anymore.
No. Yeah, and it seems like that's almost the most disappointing part about it is like it seems like that's where all of the new tooling goes, is like to make
Yeah.
like the specific like let's tool up a Howard the Duck and like waste a figure on that and like I don't know like they get really specific with those characters and then I wish they would spend a little bit more time on some of the comic characters, which I'm still happy with like the offerings we get with comic characters, but like I just wonder how much better it would be if there wasn't so much put into the MCU figures. And like I get that that's probably
Yeah.
like the MCU figures maybe help fuel the line just because like that's what's going to
Mm-hmm.
bring people in is like, "Oh, I just went and saw the new Black Panther movie. I want to go buy those Black Panther action figures for my kid now because we
Mm-hmm.
like this character." It's like, that makes sense. But also those are always going on clearance, so it's like I don't I guess they're always making money even when it's on clearance. They're still going to make money, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, and maybe it's also just the fact that they don't really hold any value,
Yeah.
really.
As a collector,
Like,
like you're not going to be like, oh, this is my savings account. Like I just have all these action figures.
or even just that simple notion of having a cool collectible
Mm-hmm.
figure.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, it's kind of also the way I've been feeling lately about McFarlane's.
Yeah.
It's like this just isn't really even worth owning.
Yeah.
Like it's never going to go up in value. It's only going to go down. I may or may not like it.
Yeah, it's not worth owning and it's not worth selling if you have it. So
It's like
that's
you might
kind
as
of.
well just buy a loose McFarlane and
Mm-hmm.
see rather than. It's like I bought that Bane new and I kind of hated it.
Yeah.
Sold it right away.
Yeah. That's definitely understandable. Like I said, that's kind of what I'm running into now where I'm trying to like purge some of my figures so I have room for others and like just so I'm not like buried in action figures that are just like sitting in a toy box.
Okay. Yeah.
And it's like I like this figure, but I don't love it. So it's like I would get rid of it, but it's like if I sold this, it's like I could sell it for $5, and it's like, is that even worth
Mm-hmm.
listing to sell? It's like, eh. So that is how a lot of MCU figures go. Is it's like maybe they'll be hot for a
Yeah.
second, probably not, and then they're gonna cool off real fast and real cold. So don't invest in
Yeah.
MCU figures. Maybe the Spider-Man 3-pack. Maybe. I think that's a
Yeah.
little
TBD.
overpriced. Yeah. So
TBD.
I'm not going to invest
Man,
in a Spider-Man 3-pack. I'll get one for myself, but not a one to ruck, one to stock situation for sure.
it's fair.
You got any more hot takes, Jordan? Are you ready to wrap it up?
I don't think I do. I mean, I'm sure I would love. I'll probably think of more as soon as we're done.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that'd be fun to do like a series.
Yeah.
Like every so often, just a hot take. Some because I
Just do
think
a
there's
short.
a lot we could come up with
Oh yeah.
that I think people would be intrigued by. Because I always love that in the group when someone posts something kind of controversial, and it's
Yeah.
like people start talking about it and you kind of get in on it. But
Yeah.
um, I don't know. It's also nice to just have people, like you said, the things that are like it's not the Hasbro team's fault
Mm-hmm. Like
because
remind
it
people
is
not to
kind
just
of
go attack
yeah,
these people that have no
yeah,
say in what's happening.
yeah. It's just really annoying to have people like treating them poorly
Mm-hmm.
because they don't. It's like they're the ones actually helping give you what you want.
Right.
So
Like they're probably the people that are actually listening to the collectors and
right,
the community and like trying to put through things that we would like. But yeah, as soon as they do something, or as soon as Hasbro as a company does something that's like, oh, it's your fault. It's like,
yeah,
take it to the top. I have no say here.
I agree.
So, like I said at the beginning, let us know what some of your hot takes are if you didn't hear them tonight, or today, whenever you're listening to this. Yeah, let us know what hot takes you've got. What unpopular opinions do you have that Marvel Legends or even action figures in general? Leave us a comment. Maybe we forgot something. Maybe we'll add it into our next episode like Jordan was talking about. Make sure you're subscribed. Share it with all your friends. Post us in the groups. I mean, you can share us in the groups and say, look at these idiots. They hate toe joints. Or at least I hate toe joints.
Say, yeah, let us know if you think our hot takes are
too hot,
too cold.
Oh,
somewhere
all right.
in the middle.
Like, share, subscribe, and until next time, stay strong.